it. Let's get to a couple other news items, some big news on the injury front for the Dodgers, and then we've got another Yamamoto Yankees story I want to get your thoughts on. Injury updates, though, some positive ones on the whole, I would say, for the Dodgers coming over the past day or two. Some of these just fresh today. Let's start with Clayton Kershaw, an injury update. He threw a sim game today, 2 innings pitched, but he touched 90 miles an hour. That was up from 88 earlier in the week. We talked about comparing, his comeback and what we might expect as reasonable. Velocity is not the key for Clayton Kershaw, but Anthony, I feel better anytime that number is going up. It doesn't really matter where it ends. Like if it stops at 90, I don't think that's a huge deal for a guy like Clayton Kershaw, the pitcher he is today. But I just like that it went from 88 to 90, much like we saw in Walker Buehler's development as he came back from injury.
Yeah, it's a positive. It's a positive. And like you said, I think that, if he can put 2 more ticks on that thing, let's bring him in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he knows how to pitch at that velocity. Yep. He's done it for the last couple of years, and he's been very effective. So yeah, it's a positive thing. And I know, other fan bases might go, "Oh, you're getting excited about Clayton Kershaw throwing 90," and it's like, yeah, dude, watch him a little bit, and you'll understand why. Like this is the norm. This is fine. This is Clayton Kershaw with the sub-3 ERA. Who may not be your number one, but he's a front end kind of guy as long as he's healthy. And so I read that and I was like, yeah, okay, we're getting there.
Yeah, his fastball velocity has not averaged over 91 miles an hour or higher in any of the last 3 seasons, 90.7, 90.8, and 90.9. So again, he's at 2 innings. He's going to add an inning per week over the next few weeks. If that ticks up even a little bit, we're going to be right where we were in the past. And again, he's been successful. 2.28 ERA in 126 innings in 2022, 2.46 ERA in 131 innings last year. So we'll see how that continues to go. Bobby Miller, the second injury update, he pitched into the 5th inning, 4 hits, 1 earned run, did allow 2 runs, but 1 was via error, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 85 pitches. And Anthony, if you want to talk velocity, everyone was panicked because in his last outing, the velocity was down. 97 mile an hour fastballs coming at you on average for Bobby Miller. That's the encouraging piece to me. Again, velocity is not the end all be all, but more than anything else, it sounds like the arm bounced back. He seems to be feeling good. Dave Roberts, I believe today said this might be his last rehab outing. So we might be headed for a 6-man rotation quicker than we thought. But again, positive trajectory for Bobby Miller.
Yeah, with these things, we've talked about it, you and I, Jeff, on this show. You don't necessarily take a lot of stock in rehab stats. So maybe unless he's giving up 5 runs every single outing, then that's alarming. But other than that, you don't take a magnifying glass to those numbers.
Yeah.
You look at things like velocity, because a guy's coming back from an injury. And if he's not healthy, he's not going to have that velocity. Again, another reason why we're thinking that we're positive about the Kershaw hitting 90. It's the same thing. These guys are getting healthy. Like you can see it in those numbers.
Yeah.
Because it's a different game also. Like when you're a big leaguer, it's a different game. Like I've talked to a bunch of guys who have come back from rehab assignments and been like, as reporters who cover a team every single day, you're looking for storylines. And so when a guy comes back and let's say he didn't have a great rehab and you go, hey, you're back, but your numbers in, at AA and AAA weren't great, kind of how do you feel about that? And they're like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I could not give a damn because they're
1,200 people in Tulsa pitching against 32-year-olds in AA who are never going to sniff the majors. That doesn't exactly get the juices flowing the same way Yankee Stadium on a Friday night does.
Exactly. Yeah. And so those aren't the things you look at. You look at other things. And so with Bobby Miller, these are positives because you can see he's getting back to where he's comfortable sitting as a pitcher, and that health that he's able to get to that velocity and touch that for an entire outing.
Yeah.
That's a sign that his health is where it needs to be.
Couple other updates here. Max Muncy, after some negative updates, no real timetable is the last one. Reports today that he's begun some plyo ball work and he's taking dry swings again and is, quote, cautiously moving forward. So again, I'm not calling that a good update, but that's better than not swinging at all. Cautiously moving forward is better than not moving forward at all. That was the update on Max Muncy. And then Kyle Hurt who's been out since April 18th. He faced 4 batters today, came in after Bobby Miller for Oklahoma City. And so he was a guy that I believe his last appearance came down at the minor league. So he's not a guarantee to be right back up at the major league level. But if we're talking about arms that could potentially deepen that bullpen come late in the season, Kyle Hurt's definitely a name on that list. So Muncy cautiously moving forward, Kyle Hurt facing batters or making an appearance for the first time since April 18th. The other 2 injury updates for the Dodgers. So again, they beat the Yankees and you get 4 positive injury updates in the same day. I mean, we should all just be counting our lucky stars and being thankful for the life that we had, right, Anthony?
If only they could hit.
Yeah, exactly. If only they could hit, we'd have nothing to talk about. Can you imagine if they had like 12 hits tonight? We'd be just like, all right, I don't know. They were good. So anyways, but good stuff there for the Dodgers.